Hello Canada, welcome back to Canadian Citizens Journal. I'm your host, alias Tagai. Well, GST Holiday has come to an end. And it's not looking good. It's looking like it's just cost all of Canada over $1 billion. But let's just do like we normally do in the show. Start at the beginning and work our way to the end as quickly as we possibly can. Grab your Trudeau puke buckets. Here's the man himself, or whatever you want to call him.
2 months, starting December 14th, we're going to remove the GST, HST from groceries. 100% of groceries.
Okay. We're just gonna kind of straighten out this right away. And of course, none of the mainstream media that was in front of him questioned what he was saying. So, groceries, for the most part, are already exempt. Now, if you're gonna go over through it, there's a few things that aren't considered groceries. For the most part, anything that's considered a snack. So you got to watch what you do, right? If it's packaged 6 and under, you pay tax. If it's 6 or more, you don't pay tax. And then, of course, you get stuff like this: alcoholic beverages, carbonated beverages, fruit beverages, less than 25% real fruit juice, candies, bars, snack foods, food or beverages heated for consumption, salads, not sealed, sandwiches other than frozen, and catered food and beverages. My regular viewers obviously catch on, but any new viewers, this is what you got to watch for. It's how they word it. It's a blatant lie pushed right in front of your face to make things look really good, when in actuality, it's not. We'll let him finish.
All groceries. We're going to remove the GST from restaurant meals, takeouts, fast food. Removing the GST from beer and wine. Removing the GST for essentials like kids' clothing, footwear, diapers, and toys. All tax-free. We also...
Okay. What a load of crap this guy is. So let's see how the store owners feel about it.
This could be for an 8-year-old, and this could be for me. Where do I put it? I really have no clue.
That's the question toy store owner Ramsey Sweda has been asking himself for weeks. On December 14th, the GST will be removed from some food items, books, and toys, but specifically children's toys. Now, that may sound clear-cut, but small business owners say there have been plenty of headaches.
Literally, we have to go through each section and to see whether this is tax exempt and not tax exempt. And more so, some sections, part of it should be tax exempt, part of it should be not tax exempt. As you can see, some of the games are meant for 4-year-olds and some of them strictly adult. And then you have to divide that. Another section causing headache is the puzzle section. Puzzle section also divided by age. There's this kid who saved this money, let's say, to buy a Lego. He's 10 years old. And he saved his money to buy a Lego meant for 18 years old. So what do you tell this kid? It's like, sorry, you're going to be penalized because you're too good at Lego?
The government's gone through their list. They figured out what's naughty, what's nice, and now the business owners have to do the same. It's not clear cut. So ultimately, don't take it on the staff. Don't take it out on the business owner. They are implementing a myriad of rules. It is far from simple.
You'll see the number one, meaning we charge only GST. If I go back here, B, both taxes, meaning the federal and the provincial GST and PST.
What do you think could have been done differently here?
Had we had enough notice, like give me notice 3 months in advance, I'll sit down and read the rules. Being a toy store again, this is the busy season. I don't have time to read the rules. Like I skimmed through them and decided what to do. Whether I'm gonna be 100% compliant or not, I'm keeping my fingers crossed.
And
So there's a lot to this, because a lot of these businesses are worried about whether or not they're going to be penalized out of their own pockets because they mislabeled the taxation on certain products. And then there's the charter.
Between one and the other. Christmas trees are exempt, but not menorahs. Now, this is a government since 2015, when it came to office, has been enthusiastic about what's called the Saguenay decision from the Supreme Court that said no government could favor one religion over another. I don't know, giving GST exemption for Christmas trees, but not Diwali decorations. Isn't that favoring one religion over another? And we have this little replica of a Charlie Brown Christmas tree, spindly little thing on two little sticks to hold it up, with one red globe of an ornament that pulls it over at the top. Does that qualify? CRA doesn't say.
So the whole reason of them moving the election because it falls under Diwali just got blown out of the water, because they really don't care. They're only doing what it takes to buy votes.
Neither do the Trudeau Liberals. And video games that come on cartridges, yes, those are tax exempt. But video games that are downloaded or played online, not tax exempt. And that makes up now about 3/4 of the video gaming market. So they're not really helping anybody with their GST exemption if you like video games. And this is the one that I think is really funny. Subscription magazines are GST exempt for 2 months out of the 12-month subscription. Nobody says how that's going to work, where you're going to get a rebate back from the magazine. I mean, the complexity of that is just mind-boggling. But add to this, if you buy a magazine off of a newsstand, that's not GST exempt. So GST exempt on a way that no one can figure out how it's going to work, plus no GST exemption on magazines off of the stand. And snacks from the convenience store, GST exempt. Snacks from a vending machine, Why? What is the point there? This whole thing makes no sense. And I'm just delighted to find out that ordinary Canadians, 3/4 of ordinary Canadians, share that view, that this is nuts, and it is simply a naked attempt by the Trudeau Liberals to get people to like them again.
And that's exactly what it was. And the worst part about it is they made it seem like they were trying to do some type of good thing that would boost the economy, help small businesses, and help the consumers. In the end, it cost small businesses, and it's going to cost every taxpayer in Canada. The rollout bill on this is $1.6 billion in tax revenue loss, not including all of the administrative costs to implement it. It's not going to make that. So far, from what I could find, there was only a $163 million boost to the economy. That's not enough. It's not even close to enough. More debt put on the backs of Canadians so that this narcissistic fool could try and sell himself to look good. And I'm not going to get into all the positive media clips that CBC and CTV were running. Oh, how great this is. And they were cherry picking out certain businesses. it was never a good idea. Ever a good idea.
According to the Barrie Chamber of Commerce, many businesses found that complications from the tax break outweighed the benefits.
It was very expensive for businesses to set up, for a short period of time relatively. Now they're dismantling it, and they were still left with those setup costs. So I think this is a failed experiment, quite honestly.
In a statement to CTV News, the BIA's executive director saying, in part, while having a tax break has its obvious benefits for consumers saving money, the feedback has been mixed, mainly due to the lack of notice, rapid implementation, and lack of understanding.
I think a tax holiday that's more permanent on certain items would be more appropriate.
Could be a nice little break for people and encourage people to go and support small business.
The BIA also saying that if the tax break were to be implemented again, businesses and customers would have a better understanding, which could have more of a local impact.
See what they're doing? See how the media's covering themselves? Here, so far, I've been looking. Of course, it takes a long time for them to run the numbers. So I couldn't find a lot. In fact, I could barely find anything except for a lot of inside studies that were taken. This one's quite interesting. It's Retail Insider. This is their take on it. As the GST HST holiday approaches its conclusion on February 15th, Moneris released a new data offering insights into consumer spending patterns during the first month of the tax break. The analysis covering December 14th, 2024 to January 15th, 2025, compared with the same period a year earlier, reveals that the holiday did not significantly stimulate consumer spending. In fact, according to Moneris, overall spending across Canada declined by 4% year over year, with transaction counts dropping by 1%. This slight reduction in consumer activity suggests that even the potential savings from the tax holiday were insufficient to encourage Canadians to shop more frequently or spend more per transaction. Sean McCormick, Director of Business Development, Data Service, and Leica Sales Dealership Moneris noted, while the tax break aimed to spur spending, Moneris' data shows it may have unintentionally slowed it down, with a 3% decline in overall transaction sizes year over year. The data suggests that the break may not have had its intended effect. From what I could find, it seems the businesses that did get a little bit of a boost seem to match and correlate with the amount of Americans that were crossing the border to take advantage of our peso, of our declining dollar. I have no proof of that yet. I'm waiting for all the rest of the numbers to come out. But from what I've seen, it seems that about 75 to 85% of the boost that we saw had nothing to do at all with this holiday. But you can kiss that goodbye, because in the same aspect, the charts are showing that all the booing at hockey games and negativity towards the American people is driving them away from our products. Not good. So, CFIB, Canadian Federation of Independent Businesses. As the 2-month GST HST holiday comes to an end, only 5% of small businesses saw stronger sales compared to the same period last year, finds new data by the Canadian Federation of Independent Businesses. Among those, only 4% of businesses in retail and 15% hospitality saw an increase in their sales. By all accounts, the government's GST holiday was a flop for small businesses, said Dan Kelly, CFIB president. For many retailers, it was an administrative nightmare to get point-of-sale machines compliant just before Christmas, let alone sort out which Lego sets the holiday applied to, or how many items in a gift basket had to be tax-free for it to qualify. Most, 66%, of small firms impacted by the tax break said their sales stayed about the same, but also faced a number of challenges, including reprogramming point-of-sale systems and the associated costs, additional administrative workload, training staff, and managing customer inquiries. On top of the administrative headache and confusing set of rules, both the Canada Revenue Agency and Finance Canada were providing conflicting information as to whether participation in the GST HST holiday was mandatory. In fact, just last month, the GST holiday was nominated for CFIB's Paperweight Award, one of the worst examples of red tape across the country, as part of its 16th annual Red Tape Awareness Week. So there you have it. Trudeau wasted another billion and change. There's so much to this that the media doesn't talk about. This was actually crushing for the very small businesses. Very small to small businesses, this cost them a lot of money. Medium-sized businesses, it still cost them, but they might break even. The big businesses have a completely different setup. They already have an office that can push keys, and like that, all of their stores have their prices changed. Once again, this was done for corporate interest and to shut small businesses down. It's made to penalize the regular people, but made to look like it's supposed to be some gift and saving moment from your king, Trudeau. Once I get more data on it, I will definitely be posting it. I can't wait to see the numbers. It's not going to be good. If you like the episode, punch like, please subscribe. Don't forget to share and punch that notification button so that you never miss an episode. Till next time, I'm Elias the Guy. You're watching the Canadian